Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Hanson here. We're back with a brand new video. I'm going to show you guys how to set up a bot that can use the MessageCollector class. If you guys don't know what it is, basically it's very common when you want to take one message from one channel and send it to another channel. That's pretty much you need to use the MessageCollector. Okay. Now there is also the awaitMessages function, which works just as well as the MessageCollector, but there are a lot of other things that the MessageCollector can do and you can use it for that you can't do with the awaitMessages function. I'm gonna try my best to distinguish those differences, and we're definitely gonna go over both. So I'm gonna go over the MessageCollector class first. Okay, so first things first, we need to go ahead and generate a project. So I gotta terminal real quick. So terminal. CD to my documents, and I'm gonna make a directory called message collector example. CD into it. Alright, and I'm gonna go ahead and just get my bot token, and we're just gonna go ahead and say npm init-y, and then install discord.js and .env. This will install it locally and add it to our package.json file, and all of the code will be in the description. And this is there. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a file called .env, and let's create a bot.js file. The .env file is where we're going to set our environment variable. So I'm going to say bot_token is equal to the value of our token. The reason why I'm doing this is because I don't want to just paste my token in my bot.js file, and the reason, and obviously you don't want to do that because your bot token is basically a credential. If someone else sees it, you're pretty much screwed. But you can always regenerate it, of course, but it's better to not let that be the case because you might not know when your bot token has been compromised until someone messes with your server. Okay, so we're gonna, on the first line, we're gonna go ahead and just call it require, and we're gonna pass in the .env, which is the module that we just installed, and we're gonna call the .config function. So we're basically importing the .env module, and then we're calling the .config function. Okay, that will actually load the environment variables for us. If you don't do that, it will not, your environment variables will be null. Okay, and we're going to require discord.js, and we're going to create an instance of the client class that's part of the Discord module. And I'm just going to go and say client.login, and we're going to reference that environment variable we just created, bot_token. You can name this whatever you want, okay? But I'm just going to say process global variable .env .bot_token, and that's going to log our bot in. So let's go ahead and just say client.login. I'm sorry, client on. We're going to listen to the ready function, the ready events. I can't believe I said that. It is a function. We're just gonna say const.log bot has login, and I can go ahead and just use nodemon to run my bot. Whoops, nodemon bot.js, and it's gonna say bot has logged in. And if you see on our server, where is this? You can see ticket bot. I'm using my old bot because I don't want to add any more bots on my server. So we're gonna use ticket bot for now. And let me just go into maybe I'll just create a new channel. I'm going to create a channel called start. This is where we're going to have the bot take messages, and then we're going to send it to a different. And my permissions right now are a little bit messed up because actually, as I was using authorization server, but let me actually see if I can. Can't reset permission. It's unfortunate. Okay, you know what? I'm going to just create. And let's just say collector. I'm just gonna create two channels. Say start. Okay, no permission set. Say end or destination. Right? Cool. So we have two channels. Let's go ahead. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Our bot's logged in. Perfect. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to go ahead and just basically every single message that's being sent in this channel, I want to transfer it to this channel. Okay, I'm just showing you one example for now. Of course, I'm going to try my best to show you several different examples. Hopefully, if we can fit that all in this video. But again, this is just to show you guys how to actually use it. Like, you got to be creative when it comes to certain things. But if you have any questions, just, either join my Discord server or just leave a comment down below. Okay, so let's go ahead and just say this. Let's say client on message, and I'm going to just create a simple command real quick. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say First, let's say if message.author.bot. If the bot sends a message, we're going to return because we don't want to do anything. But we're going to go ahead and say if message.content. Let's just say that to lowercase. And let's just say if it's equal to, let's just say listen. And then we're going to go ahead and do this. We're going to say message.channel.send. Start. Let's just say the bot is collecting messages now. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and use the message collector first, and then I'm going to show you guys how to use the await messages. So we're going to need to create an instance of the collector class. Okay, we're going to create an instance of this. So let's go ahead and say let collector equals new Discord. Okay, because this message collector class is part of the Discord JS module, which we imported on line 2. We're going to say discord.messageCollector. Okay, and now the constructor of this class takes in 3 parameters. Okay, so basically the first parameter is going to be the channel that we want to collect messages from. Okay, so we want to collect messages from wherever we use this command, !listen. Of course, you can also hard code it too. You can hard code it to listen to. So you can hard code it to collect messages in a specific channel, just by getting the ID of the channel, getting the actual channel object, and then passing that in here. We're just gonna say message channel. Second property is going to be, second parameter is going to be a filter. Now this is actually mandatory, okay? But since we're collecting all messages, we're just gonna write a simple filter that doesn't really, really do much. So we're just gonna say let filter equals the first parameter. So this is gonna be an arrow function or a lambda function, anonymous function. And M is pretty much the message that that is being sent in this channel. Okay. Here. And we're gonna go and say where M, let's just say, is not a bot. It's where m.author.bot. Okay, because remember M is the message object, author is the author of the person that sent the message, and .bot will just check if the person that sent the message is a bot. Okay, of course, you can just honestly set, you could do like return true, like that, and that should pretty much let every single message bypass. I'm just gonna do this let true. That should work. There shouldn't be any issues. And the last parameter is optional, but these are basically message collector options. You can go ahead and just read it up. But yeah, you can see it says max and then max messages. Okay, so let's say, for example, you want a max number of messages to be sent before you close the collector. But let's say if we want this to go on forever, then we can just leave this alone. Okay. So now let's go ahead and just let that happen. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and listen to a couple of events. So the message collector class has a couple properties as one method called stop, and it has 3 events. Actually 2, because the message is deprecated. Okay, so let's go ahead and just say collector on, and let's just say collect. And pretty much this event is emitted every single time a message is collected. So let's just click on the event over here on the documentation. You're gonna see that emitted whenever an element is collected, and I guess element could be anything, but I mean realistically it's just going to be a message collector. Okay, and then collector is the second parameter. I think the first. No, it's the second, and then that's basically just the collector itself. Okay, so let's just do this. Let's say message, and then collect. Let's just say COL. Okay, so let's go ahead and say this console.log. Collected message. Let's just do message.content. And before I do anything else, I just want to show you guys that this actually works. Okay, so before I do anything further, let's go ahead and do it. So let's say listen bot. So let's just say hello. Let's say collect the messages hello. Okay, so this message was actually sent from the bot. Okay, you know what? Let me actually go back here, because remember how I said this will collect every single message sent in one channel and send it to the other? So let me actually change this back to make it so that we don't collect bot messages, okay? Because That's the reason why we had this message showed up. Bot is collecting messages now. That was sent by the bot. So let's try this again. Let's just say listen, hello. Okay, so now it should just say hello. Message number 2. Message 2. Okay, we're still collecting messages. Let's just say my name is. See, it says there you go, and it's gonna keep collecting messages until like we manually stop the collector. Okay, so right now you're gonna see that we have no limit, we have no max. Okay, which is good and it could be bad, but of course if we ever want to stop the collector at some point, we can definitely do so. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Now let's go ahead and call the stop method. So let's just say this. Let's just say let counter equals 1. And of course you don't have to do it this way, but I just want to show you how to manually use the stop the stop function on the collector. So, oh, I'm sorry, it should be 0. So every single time we collect a message, we're going to increment the counter. We're going to say if counter is equal to 10, we're going to say collector dot stop, and this is going to stop the collector. Okay, this is going to stop the collector, and it's going to emit the end event. Okay, right over here you can see. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and say collector on end, and this is going to take in 2 parameters, I think. It's going to take in the collection, and it's going to take in the reason that the collector ended, which we probably don't even need, so we're just going to just take the collected parameter, and let's just say console.log. So this is going to be a collection of all of the messages that were sent. Okay, okay, so let's just say collected.size. I think that's a property. Yes, say messages collected. Let's concatenate that. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and send a couple of messages. Hello, 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 hello. Okay, so now we're still collecting messages. Okay, let's just wait a little bit. All right, now we can still send more messages. Hello, 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 hello. And I think that's 9 messages so far. Oh, there we go, 10. So let's just see 1, 2, 3, 5. Yeah, 5. Okay, so now you can see that the message collector just stopped, and if I try to send more messages, nothing's gonna happen in the console. Okay, now likewise, again, you could achieve the same thing with the awaitMessages function. All you gotta do is just say message.channel.awaitMessages, and then you can go ahead and set a max so it can collect, let's say, 10 messages, right? You can do the same exact thing with awaitMessages. Now, here's the thing. Let's just say, for example, you want to collect messages, but you also want the rest of your code to do stuff. So let's just say right over here, bot is collecting messages, and you want to do other stuff, running asynchronously, right? I'm trying to think of a good example, but basically you want your bot to be able to do other things while also collecting those messages. Okay, and so pretty much this all is going to happen asynchronously. So anything down here, for example, happening asynchronously. Okay, if I just do !listen, it's going to say happening asynchronously, right? So you can go ahead and do other things while the bot is running or while the collector is collecting messages in the background. So this way it doesn't block everything else that you want happening. Now, of course, I can't really think of any good examples right now, but I do know that when I was working on my modmail bot, I needed to use the message collector. I'm trying to. Oh, I'm trying to remember why I think I needed it. Oh, actually, yeah, I know why. The main reason why I needed it was because, for example, in the modmail bot, you never know when you're going to stop collecting messages. Like you can have like a whole hour-long conversation with the modmail bot, right? That's basically a bunch of different messages being collected and being sent. And so you never know when you're going to need to stop the collector. So that would be a good example of using a collector and sending that message to a different channel. Okay, when you don't know how many messages that need to be collected, you can then use a collector, and then you can manually and then once the modmail bot, once the person is done with talk with the modmail bot, then whichever admin is available, they can manually stop the collector by using some kind of command or something. It's just basically how it works, right? So I just hopefully you guys can, you know, wrap your head around that. I know it might be a little bit confusing without a good example, but yeah. So let me go ahead and just actually get to the main idea. So we want to send all the messages in this channel. So, and to do that, what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and copy the ID of this channel, and we're just going to send it to that channel. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's just say, well, let me just get rid of this counter. Okay. And let's go ahead. So right now we can collect an indefinite amount of messages. So we're going to go ahead and say, I'm going to get the channel up here. Let destination equals, I'm going to get the channel by the ID by referencing client.channels.get, and then I'm going to pass in that ID, which is a string. Okay, and of course, we're going to go ahead and say if destination, just want to make sure, whoops, we're going to say destination dot send, and we're going to go ahead and say so the bot is going to send this message, but you can also format this however you want. I'm actually just going to send an embed message just to make it look nice. Okay, so right now if I do this, if I do message content, right, it's going to send the message over there. So let's just say hello there. What's going on? Destination is not defined. I misspelled it. Destination. Oh wait, no, I misspelled it twice. Let's try this again. Hello. Here we go. So the bot says hello, but obviously we don't know anything about this. So let's just format it a little bit. Obviously we could include the author, but I'm gonna make it an embed message. So just because, you know, I love embed messages, and since the new update, embed messages look so freaking awesome. So let's create an embed message. Let's just say let embed equals new Discord rich embed. Set title. Let's just say new message. Set description. That's going to be the content of the message. So let's just say message content. Set footer. I don't really think I need that. Set timeout. Set timestamp. What else? Set author. We can say the author of the message, and the name of the author is going to be the person that sent that message. So let's just say message.author. And the icon, we can say message.author. I'm sorry, it should be message.author.tag. And then message.author.display avatar URL. And we don't really need to set a URL. And I think, let's do a color. Okay, and let's go ahead and do, I don't know, some kind of like color. Just getting this from hex color picker website. And yeah, I think we got everything that we need. We have the author, we have the title, message.content. That's everything we need. So let's just save that. And let's go ahead and say question mark listen. Hello world. New message, hello world. My name is Anson. I love sushi. See, all of these messages are being sent to this channel. Of course, again, you can use this however you want. Cool. All right. And again, if we wanted to manually stop the collector, what we can do is we can go ahead and say something like, let's see this. We can go ahead and do something like if message. So I'm referencing the original message that was actually, wait, let me actually change this real quick. So, because what I want to do is I want the original person that used the listen command to stop it. So, you know, this make sure, this ensures that the person, like other people that are sending messages, they can't stop it. Only the person that initiated the command. So I'm actually going to change this parameter to M, because message right now in this scope is, you know, the message that was being sent, and it's not referencing this message up here. So if I try to reference message, we're not going to be referencing this one. So I'm going to change this to M, and I'm going to change this to M, and I'm going to change this to M, this to M, whoops, this to M, and I just want to make sure, okay, perfect, okay, and let's just go and say, so if message dot author, or I'm sorry, if message dot content dot to lowercase equal stop, let's just go ahead and say filter. I'm sorry, stopping collector. And we're gonna go and say collector stop. Okay, so let's go and try this. So let's just say listen. Hi, hello, how are you? Stop. I think that's a dyno function as well, but if message.content. Oh wait, hold on, wait a minute. If message.content.to lowercase is wait, I'm sorry. m.content.to lowercase. Okay, so if that's equal to stop and message, so we want to check if okay, I'm sorry. So m again, message was referring to the original message, which was the listen over here command. So we're basically checking to see if that collect the message, if it's equal to stop, question mark stop, and we're going to check to see if the message.author ID is equal to m.author ID. So if the person that if the message collected, the author ID is the same as the command. Okay, I forgot that part. This should be fine. Say listen, hello world 123. Hello world 123, and you can see the timestamp. And let's just say question mark stop. And that should not be sent. But you can see we stopped the collector. So if we stop it, oh wait, I'm sorry. I got to wrap this in an else. Okay, that's why. Okay, but yeah, it works. It works. So now that we stopped it, you can say messages collected.size, and this is great because you don't have to worry about like blocking the rest of your code, for example. So let me actually show you. Let me see how much time we have. Okay, let me actually show you very quickly how to use the await messages. Okay, so let's go ahead and just comment. Let's comment all this out. And so the same command. So let's just go ahead and say message.channel.send. Enter your name. If it's something simple like this, like if you only expect the person to enter, just one prompt, and in order for the rest of the code to happen, we need this prompt, okay? And in order for that, that's the reason why we would want to use await messages, because we need to make sure that we wait for the message first before we do anything else. So let's just pass in a filter. So I'm just gonna say filter function. It's gonna be let equals for m. We're gonna say m.author.id is equal to message.author.id. So that's the original person sending the message. So let's just say filter. And now options. Okay, so options, we're gonna go and say max 1. Alright. Or I think it should be max matches. Because it will still process it, but it'll only take one. But we want to make sure we match. So let's just say send your name, message, content, and let's just stop right there. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. Forgot one thing. Okay, so since await messages returns a promise, we need to actually await this promise, okay? Or we could use then and catch, but I'm gonna just use async await. So let's just say let message equal await, and it's not gonna be message.content. It's gonna be MSG, because this is actually a collection. So since we're only collecting one message, the size of this is always gonna be 1. So we can just say dot first, and that's gonna be the first message that was collected, and then we can say content. Completely forgot about that. Okay, so let's try this again. Let's just question mark listen. Anson, your name is Anson. And notice how now, wait, actually, let me just do one more thing. Okay, so notice how now, right? This message.channel.send, this function only executed after we collected that message, which is right over here on this line, right? Await message.channel.await messages. Okay, so we need to wait for the user to send their message to. We need them to, basically send their message, right? And nothing else is going to happen after this line of code until the state of the promise is either rejected or if it's resolved. Okay, so this is always going to be in a pending state until that until it actually finds a message that that passed the filter function. Okay, and once it does, it's going to resolve the promise, and then it's going to go ahead and say this. Okay, now obviously we can also do other things too. We can set, I think, errors, and we can say time, and I think that another parameter is also time. Let me double check. So max matches time. So let's just say, I think this is supposed to be a millisecond, so let's just say 10 seconds, which is 10,000 milliseconds, and let's just say errors is going to be time. Okay, and since we're using async await, we need to also try catch, because this can throw an exception. Basically, if 10 seconds go by, and if the user doesn't send a message, then it's going to throw an exception. Okay, so before we weren't setting a time limit, it was just going to be there, and that could have been stuck there forever. Like it could have been, the promise could have been in a pending state forever, and none of this code would execute. Okay, so we're going to do try this, and of course, if it's successful, then it's going to execute this. If not, we're just going to say message channel send, you did not specify a name on time. Okay, and let's go ahead and just do listen. So let's just wait 10 seconds. Okay, it shouldn't take too long. Around like, I think 8 or 9, it should throw an exception, and there you go. You did not specify a name on time. 10 seconds have gone by, and it threw an exception, in which we're handling that exception down over here. And then the rest of the code is going to be executed. All right. Now, of course, hopefully you can see the differences between await messages and the message collector. With the message collector, I can't even speak. With the message collector, you can pretty much execute this. You can collect messages asynchronously as long as you want, and once you are done, you can then manually stop the collector, which is great for when you need to, take a whole bunch of messages, like in an indefinite amount, and send it to 1 or 2 different channels. With await messages, you don't know. With await messages, usually you know how many messages you want to collect, or you know how long the message collector should go on for, or I'm sorry, you know how long the collector should await for messages. In this case, we specify a time. 10 seconds, right? And yeah, I guess that's pretty much all there is to it with the message collector. I mean, for other people who are also curious about the reaction collector, there's also a reaction collector as well, and it honestly works the same exact way. The only difference is that it collects reactions. That's all there is to it. Alright, so hopefully this video made some sense. Hopefully you can brainstorm of ideas on what you can do with this. And again, if you have any awesome ideas that you'd like to share, definitely leave a comment down below. If you have any suggestions, definitely leave a comment down below, or join my Discord server. Just reach out, and if you have any help, any questions, just go on my Discord server and feel free to ask, and I'll try my best, or someone else will try their best to answer if they know, or if I know, when we have the time. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this video. Once again, check out my Discord server. All the code that I've done will be in the description. It'll be in my tutorials repository, so definitely check that out. And yeah, I think that's it. So I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.